All right, we're live. We're gonna just give everybody a couple of minutes to hop on. The debate just ended. We've got our insiders here ready to unpack the debate. I am very anxious to hear everybody's opinion on what we just watched. First of all, thank God it's over. That was a long 90 minutes. Lord have mercy, that was a long 90 minutes. I'll just kind of start off with I asked everybody to think of a drink that they would pour themselves after this, however it went. So I'm really anxious to see what people decided. I got a scotch for whatever that means. It was a tough debate. That was a tough. Sorry, guys. That was a tough debate to watch. And there's a lot of hand wringing on Twitter. Whether it's Biden's sort of subdued performance or Trump just doing what he does and lying about literally everything, and the lack of interference, I guess you would call it, by the moderators to fact check anything. There was just none of that, and I was very surprised with how much criticism CNN got on the front end of this. For them to just sit back and not do anything is pretty startling. So we are joined by a very special guest to talk about this historic debate, this historic election, none other than another historic person here in South Carolina, the chairwoman of the South Carolina Democratic Party, somebody I've known for a very long time, Miss Christale Spain. Christale, thank you for joining us so late at night.
Yes, thank you for having me so late at night.
I see you're still in your office. I assume you're in your office until 11 o'clock every night working hard for Democrats. So this is nothing new for you, but we know you had a big watch party at SEDP headquarters. Tell us what the mood was like. Tell us what the feedback was, and tell us your opinion of this debate.
The mood was, people were excited about the debate, as people as excited as you can get about a presidential debate. The mood was, I think it was good. It was a good mood. People had their moments. President Biden, I think, came out of the gates kind of slow as we expected, but then folks got more and more excited as he ramped up and started to attack back with Donald Trump. So the feedback is, we're proud of our president. He's done a good job. His administration is a tremendous success. Is he the best messenger for that? Probably not, but he's our president and we support him.
Yeah, and we were texting. I'm sure everyone had lots of text threads during this debate, and one constant that I kept seeing in lots of my text threads was the fact that Biden's going to have off nights. He's going to have on nights, just like any president. But the important thing to remember, especially for Democrats right now, is the presidential election is not just about one person, right? It's about an entire administration. It's about that entire cabinet. It's about that staff. It's about all of those appointees that, share our values. And that's what you're voting for. And sometimes I think people miss that, Christale.
100%. They missed it a lot. And when we talk more about Biden, one thing that I saw when folks were kind of like, a little cringy with his delivery, Biden used to stutter, right? So, and he's 80 years old. So, and it's 10 o'clock at night. Okay, yeah. I don't know what I sound like. I guess I have the later it gets, if I'm forced to stay up, I kind of amp up for now. But I'm sure as I get older, that's going to switch. But so he was already dealing with, combating his stutter, but cognitively he was all there. He knows what he was talking about. He knows he was able to fire back and shoot back every time he needed to. He was able to go back and think about what he has done, what Donald Trump didn't do. And like I said before we got started, Tyler, one of the biggest disappointments for me watching the debate is that Biden didn't walk off the stage. Yeah. I mean, you're talking to a literal fool who will say anything and you're bound by the truth and the facts. But the person you're talking to can say whatever they want to say.
Especially when the moderators don't jump in and say, that's not true.
You just got to wait for your time. You got 2 minutes. And it was, hard to watch for me for that as well. Not Biden, but just the lies and the uninterrupted lies.
One other question, Crystal, and then we'll go around the room. There's been a lot of debate over whether or not this debate would even happen, whether it was because Trump would bail beforehand, or Biden would refuse to do exactly what you just said. What do you think happens after tonight? Do you think we have another debate?
No, I would hope not.
I don't either.
I would think that, like I said, why would you have to debate a fool? And I say that, and I don't say it to be funny, but Trump is a fool, right? And he is a former president, but he is a fool. And to give him another stage to say and do whatever, I have been fighting for my community for years, and they're convicted felons who can't even vote. But he gets to run for president, and you got to debate him? This is crazy. No, I think we shouldn't have to sit through another debate.
Jermaine, what are your thoughts on this debate?
Well, first off, I mean, I don't know if anybody on here can let me know what a black job is. I mean, when he said that, I said, hold up. I said, man, I'm not
it's
really
clear
sure
he
what that
only
is.
talks about the African American economy when he's on a debate stage. You can tell this is not part of his everyday vocabulary.
I mean, it's unreal, man. It's unreal, some of the stuff that he was saying. Like, I did this for the blacks. It's like, come on, man. Like, I feel like he looks at us like a monolith, and he looks at us like we're just less than. We're just something for him.
Mhm.
It's the craziest thing, which is why I brought my coffee this evening as my drink, because when you get the aroma, it's very loud. But sometimes when you take a taste of it, it's decaf and it ain't strong, as weak as heck. So that's my depiction of my drink for this debate. He was loud, and then he was wrong, and he was lying about every damn thing. Just when he thought it was stall coffee, you tasted it, it was decaffeinated, it was weak. So that was my issue with that. He lied about everything. So
and you can drink, to keep this metaphor going, you can drink all the decaf coffee you want and never get the caffeine. And it's like, we could watch that debate. It could have been a 5-hour debate. I'm not sure anybody else would have gotten anything from it, because it's what you're going to get with Biden. He largely says the same things. We kind of know what he talks about, but you never know what you're going to get with Trump. He says a lot of the greatest hits, but then you get sharks and Hannibal Lecter and think black jobs and things like that.
That's seriously where we're at on this one, man. It's like, it's the choices. Like, do you want to reward the loud guy he's just loud and convincing, and he's lying? Like, do you want that guy to be your president, or do you want the meek, humble guy? Who may have lost a step, but is doing the right thing. I think I'd rather choose the person who's going to do the right thing versus the person who's going to be loud and a bully, and somebody might, like him because they're scared of.
We are honored to have
Tyler. Is that bravado does not equal competence. It just doesn't.
Yeah, totally. I mean, not only that, but you have to think about the fact that this is before I say that, let me bring Annie in, because Annie, what I was going to say before is we are honored that the arena has several former candidates and elected officials. And, Annie ran in a big race a couple of years ago, raised millions and millions of dollars to TV, and did debates, televised debates with another arena favorite, Nancy Mace. Talk about what you saw as former candidate, somebody who's been on that stage before with the bright lights and the cameras. What did you see? What was your takeaway? And try to keep the spin to a minimum.
Well, so since you brought her up, Tyler, am I allowed to talk about her?
Yes, of course.
So
it's 11 o'clock. We can do whatever we want.
So what I'll say first is, if debate performance mattered, I would be a congresswoman.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Yes.
Because I won my debate, and It clearly did not translate to an electoral victory. My
Great point.
takeaway from tonight is I'm not voting for a debate performer. This election is not really about two 80-year-old men. This election is about the 168 million women in America and their reproductive freedom. Nothing that was said on the debate stage tonight, no matter the delivery style, no matter how painful that was to watch at times, changes where these two humans sit on the spectrum. And I will always stand with the person who has values that align with my values. And nothing about what was said tonight will change that. We have a convicted felon and we have a decent human who will fight for us and has shown that by continuing to show up for us when he shouldn't have to. So I hope there are no more debates. I agree with Christale. I hope Emily comments on this. Their answers on the child care question were laughable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope that very soon we have a woman on this debate stage because they just ignored that question
Yeah.
and it was painful to watch. So much left to be desired, but nothing changes how I'm going to vote or how hard I'm going to work between now and election day to elect Joe Biden and the Biden administration so that we can protect women's reproductive freedom, address climate change, address our gun violence epidemic, and take care of our kids.
Let me bring Melissa in real quick for that before I bring Emily for that question, because I want to ask specifically about certain demographic groups coming out of this debate. I'm sure behind me we're going to see some of that instant polling, and we're going to know how women and men and African Americans and whites and Hispanics and all that feel. But if you're an undecided female voter today, or you're one of those double haters, what's your takeaway coming away from this debate, Melissa?
Well, first off, I think it's kind of disingenuous to say that you're undecided. I mean, these two candidates can't be further from each other. And so I think you have to really look at yourself and say, what are you looking for in a president? This is not a marriage. We're not looking for a lifelong partnership. We're looking for someone to lead the country for the next 4 years, someone that we can trust and that was going to put an administration in place that is going to lead this country. And that's going to be Joe Biden. And as a woman, I am voting against Project 25 versus my rights and my freedoms. And so, what I would tell women out there listening that may feel like, they still don't know, they're on the fence, look at Project 25, look at what the Republican Party plans to do to your rights and your freedoms. It is going to get a lot more scary in a Trump administration. And I'm not just trying to fearmonger and make people feel, scared and stuff. You should be scared when you read what they're doing, when you listen to what they're saying. So don't just vote, R because that's what you normally vote. Actually look at the policies that they're impacting. You can't tell me that this is the state and the country that Republican voters actually want if they listen to what the Republicans are actually saying they're going to do to our rights and our freedoms.
Christale, what is the plan? This is the earliest debate we've ever had in the country's history as far as a general election debate. We have two months until the convention, maybe a little less than 2 months. Where does the Biden campaign go from here? I don't even know when the next debate is, if there's going to be a next debate, but where does the Biden campaign, the DNC, go from here, coming away from this all the way to the convention? What do the next 2 months look like?
I wish I had that answer. I don't have the inside scoop, but I know, like as you said, the convention is the next big thing. And it's going to be, I think it'll be a great time for Democrats, but I think that the campaign continues to organize in those battleground states. That's the big thing they need to be doing. And I'm sure they are, but just really working on engaging every voter, working on making sure that voters know what the Biden administration has accomplished. And sometimes that's a hard nut to crack, to make sure that we're talking outside of the bubble and reaching those voters that don't know what he has done and what he's accomplished in these 4 short years.
I think Emily made a great point about kind of hoping that people are freaking out, because when you're freaking out, you tend to work a little bit harder. So if as chair of the SCDP, if there's people out there watching, they say, you know, he did a great job or he didn't do a great job. Either way, I need to bust my butt to get him
Get to
reelected.
work.
They're in South Carolina. This is a state where it historically doesn't vote for Democratic presidential candidates. But what's the easiest way for them to get involved in this election?
If you're in South Carolina, you know, get involved with your local party first. I always encourage folks to get involved at the local level and also get involved with the South Carolina Democratic Party. We don't have any big top of the ticket races this year except for the presidential race. And as you stated, you know, it's less likely that our state will vote for Joe Biden unanimously. But there's very important races on our down ballot, races at the state house level, at the state senate level. And we know how important it is to try to change things at the local level. When you have a Democratic president, we watched Nikki Haley refuse to expand Medicaid when Obama was able to pass that landmark legislation. So doing the work at the local level is just as important as it is to vote for the president. So get involved in your local party, get involved with the South Carolina Democratic Party. You can go to scdp.org and sign up to volunteer. And you can also become a yellow dog or join our
Yes.
committee of 100 by donating.
And y'all, let me just brag on Christale for a minute. Christale has been so involved for so long. I think I met you 14, 15
Volunteer.
years ago. You were volunteering at the state party.
Yeah.
I was a third vice chair of the state party, and we met in the office. And you know, I think we're all, I speak for everybody here, just when I say very proud of everything
Thank
that
you.
you've accomplished and what you've done. And we're all proud to have you as our chairwoman. And looking forward to what that brings, and appreciate you being here tonight so late. Let me just go around and by the way, if y'all remember from 2016, one of the coolest pictures in the history of our party is from the New York Times in 2016 from Philadelphia. Christale and who else is in that picture?
Margie Bright Matthews. Marguerite. There it is on my wall.
Oh yeah, there you go. That was on like the front page of the New York
Above
Times.
the fold.
Yeah. So just really excited everything you're doing, and now that we're first in the nation, how exciting is that? And to be chair at that time, it's awesome. So I know we all need to get to bed. Let me just go around the room one more time. Final thoughts on the debate. Most importantly, and I tell my team this every day: like, don't give me a problem, give me a solution, or don't just give me a problem, give me a solution. All right, tell me one final thought about tonight, and if there needs to be a solution, what's the solution?
And I would say, you know, as a veteran, he completely lied about how he has served veterans and he's respected veterans. You know, he is lying about women's issues. He is lying about immigrants. He is lying about everyone. And so I think it's our responsibility for a solution. It's our responsibility as people who are in tune to politics. And I'm assuming most of our listeners probably care about politics. That's why they're listening. You have to educate your friends and family because they are not obviously going to get that listening to the debate since it wasn't fact checked. So you need to educate your friends and family and let them know that no, we are not aborting babies at 9 months, that immigrants are not taking our jobs, and we still don't know what Black jobs are. So you need to educate your friends and family on the importance of this election, on the facts out there. And the reality is that we are a lot safer under a Biden administration than we will be under a Trump administration.
Here. Annie, give us something good.
I'll say what I said on Twitter, which is the thing about this debate is I still have a uterus and so do my 2 daughters. And that's how I'm going to be voting. And what I'm going to do to help Biden get reelected is talk to women like me outside of the political bubble and help them understand what is at stake this election.
Jermaine, let's talk to the people who might be a little uneasy after that debate. What do you say to them tomorrow to keep their heads
I'm
up?
going to fearmonger also because I know what the other side of the tracks look like. And you may not like the way one man speaks, man. You don't have to vote for Joe Biden, but you definitely can't vote for Trump. So so what we're trying to say here is make sure that you are voting against Donald Trump. That's what we're voting for here. We're voting against the bigotry. We're voting against
you got two choices.
That's it. You're voting there, or you're voting against them. You got to. because we can't afford to have this person to get back in the office. This is not your children. This is your grandchildren that lives that are at stake here, and we got to make sure that we do what we have to do to save the lives.
Crystal, we'll give you the last word, but let me just point out something. I lied. I said this is a choice, and it is a choice. But there's one person that I think probably is feeling good tonight, and that's a third party candidate, or RFK. He's probably there. I would think there are a lot of voters out there thinking, God, I don't want either one of these two. What else we got, right? And he's out there. So, Crystal, what do you say to people who may consider themselves progressive? Maybe they don't like their choices and they're looking for a third option. Why should they stay home?
Why should they stay home? I'll just say this: a vote for a third party candidate is a vote for Donald Trump. That's how I see it. So if you think that you're doing something, you're being too cute for school, and you're going to go vote for another fool, you're not helping yourself, and you're not helping this country. I think fear mongering. I do believe in hope and change, but the truth is the truth. This country is Donald Trump has already brought this country to his knees, and exposed the ugliness of this country. And if we want to, there's no putting the genie back in the bottle, but if we want to reconcile with some of the stuff that's going on in this country, we need a leader that's going to do that, and that's Joe Biden. It's not Donald Trump.
This is not a student government race. This is not this is not a beauty pageant. This is real. This is not a game, right? And I think that's what I'm going to tell folks tomorrow is
it's not.
It doesn't really matter what it looked like, what it sounded like. Let's talk about the fundamentals of this race, and those haven't changed. And that's still the reality. Okay, well, I'm going to let everybody get to bed. Thank you all for joining us so late. I don't know if we'll have another debate, but if we do, we'll do this again. All right. Well, y'all have a great rest of your Thursday night, and this will be posted tomorrow. So we'll see y'all next week on The Insiders. Subscribe to The Arena, thearenasc.com. Thanks, everybody.